Alright, so this will probably look familiar to no one. um, but this is a web page that I built myself, and it is available on the internet. Technically, it's part of the undernet because it's an unlisted domain, and you can't, search for 4chat on Google and expect to get to 4chat. You need to have the address, and it has to be provided by me. And I have provided the address on Facebook a couple times, actually quite a few times, and I'm pretty sure that not even one person has gone to check out this page at all, which is kind of sad because it's a pretty cool page and not everybody just sets up and makes their own web page, right? But I don't know, I guess nobody really cares about that. But pretty much this page here is just a simple web page. It's got a banner, which is a ripped off banner, obviously, and it's got some text on it. And then there's a chat box, which I can use to talk to all my friends that I don't have. So if I log in here, I can sign in, and Lonely Bot is here guarding the place as he usually is when I'm not here, because he loves to be alone. Um, but this was pretty fun to get set up, and it wasn't terribly difficult, basically, because I had lifted a lot of this stuff from other people. Obviously I didn't draw up a banner myself. I didn't pick this text style or the formatting or the background or anything. I actually borrowed this from a friend's website that he had made. And this chat application is like a plugin kind of thing, like a web page, like plugin kind of thing that I modified a little bit to make it more like what I wanted it to be. But I've been looking into trying to learn more about HTML, and this application in particular uses PHP and it uses JavaScript. And I am not familiar with HTML, PHP, or JavaScript. I don't know any of those languages, so I thought it would be fun to look into. I know like Basic, and I know C Sharp, and I know Python. So I know a few languages for like computing on you know your desktop or your own development environment or whatever the heck it is. But I don't know anything about web development or using code to create web pages or anything like that. So I thought it might be kind of fun to look into that and figure out how to do it. So I've been working on that a little bit, and the other night I was on 4chat here, um, and was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about Final Fantasy VIII, and we were talking about the card game that's in Final Fantasy VIII that's called Triple Triad. And that was a pretty fun game, and I started talking about how maybe there could possibly be a way to play the game on 4chat, which would be a test of my skills, especially since I'm just starting out, like trying to learn how to do all this stuff. But I actually did able to accomplish a playable version of the game, even though it is kind of silly. It still does work, and it's funny because it's so completely not lazy. You actually have to do a little bit of work to play this game, and it's very akin to just playing the game like in real life if you actually had the cards. Nothing is really automated, you just kind of have to run the game yourself, but I'll show you how I got the game working just for fun because it's kind of interesting to see how this kind of stuff works. So first I got to bring up the code, the HTML code for this page, which is right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the theme from 4chat Classic, which is the current theme, to for chat, which is my modified theme. And I need to remove this banner, so I'm going to block it and comment it out. And I don't need this text on the left hand side, so I'm going to comment this out, and I'm going to uncomment these cards and uncomment these cards too. And if I save this, this is the index page. This is the HTML code for the index page for the website. So if I change this, it'll change what this looks like if I hit the refresh button. And so now this is what the game looked like after we had played it last night. And basically the way this works is I just have some pictures of the cards on the left hand side and on the right hand side, so you can deal 5 cards to each player, and the way you do that is in the HTML code here. You have card 10, card 2, card 9, card, whatever. It's card 1 through 10. And so you can change these numbers, what card number is in the left bank and which card numbers are in the right bank, to shuffle the cards. So that's really super basic. And what's going on here in this background is this is just a background picture behind the chat box. So if I go into this folder here, I can actually open up this background in Paint, just MS Paint right here, and try to make it fit to the screen a little better. But this is the background for the chat box right there. So if I go to paste from, and I'll go to the board here, and I'll paste in a new copy of the game board. And if I save this file right there and go back to the page and refresh it, then you got a new board. And so if I want to play a card on here, like if I want to play this card, the red bat there, then I can go to paste from, and I can go to my level 1 cards and go to the bat here, and I'm going to say I want this card. Oops, unselected it. That's not good. Now I gotta paste it again. Okay, now I can move it right here where I want it to be played. And because I don't have different colored cards to show which card is for each one, then I just kind of highlight this here and paste, and I put a little, this is almost easy to do. Then I can put a token on there to say that that's my card. And then I go back here, and if I refresh the page, then there's the card that I played in that spot. And then on the next turn, anyone I'm playing against, if they have the cards on the left hand side, then they can say I want T-Rex on the lower right, or whatever, wherever they want me to put the card, and then I would just put the card on the game board that is actually just the background, and you can play a whole game that way. So it's it's a working game that you can actually play through a web page, but obviously it's a lot of work on my end, whereas the other player doesn't really have to do anything but say this is where I want to put my card, so please put it there for me. But I did think it was kind of interesting, just as a way to build an actual simple game over a web page. Like, there's so many things that you can do with a web page that's just ridiculous. But I haven't even gotten anywhere near learning like how you could make like built-in like games, stuff like that. Like I don't even know how this chat box application works. I know it uses JavaScript and PHP, and that's about it. I don't know anything about how it works, and just figuring out how to modify the colors and stuff like that, the way it looks right now, was really challenging and tough to do. Um, so I might look into, you know, more ways to make this game better. Obviously, I'm going to be building off of what I have learned to do already. Um, and I don't think that this is an really impressive game in any way, but it's just kind of interesting just to get an idea of how these tags work and using HTML and stuff like that. And I'm going to switch this theme back to 4chat Classic because it's just clearly the best theme for 4chat. So let's turn this back, and then I can refresh, and now we got 4chat Classic back. So really fun to play with, and you know, messing around with your own web page, and you know, anybody who has connection to the internet can come to your web page if they have your address. And this is my local IP address, so you can't get to the page by typing this into your web browser. But if you're friends with me on Facebook, then you can get the IP address that I post on Facebook, and that one will bring you to the page. So there's kind of some security there for this page, in the sense that nobody can really get to it without the address, and the only people who have the address are people who are friends with me on Facebook, and the people who are friends with me on Facebook don't care what I post about this kind of stuff, so they'll probably never even go to this website. So it's incredibly secure. I mean, basically no one can get to it. No one who cares enough to go anyway. But anyway, I just thought that was kind of funny as like a little game that I basically just threw together on the fly, and just made up, like, I think this can be done somehow, and I don't know, kind of stupid, but still pretty cool. So thanks for checking it out.